So grateful to be here and very happy to discuss these incredibly important and hard to talk about topics. He has an incredible backbone and staggering moral fiber. Howie is totally committed, completely ethical, totally admirable. No pressure if you can hear this, but honestly, Howie's a hero to me.
John, you joined us before, and it was a pretty incredible kind of testimony you gave, and you just devoted your life to advocacy for child trafficking, and even 9/11 truth. Maybe you could explain to us, in the last decade, what do you think the most challenging parts of coming alive on some of these issues have been?
Probably the hardest thing, and it continues, is just realizing that pretty much everything that I was told and taught since I was in grade school is probably not true.
Good evening and welcome to the Traffic Report. It is 12:18. My name is Howard, also known as Pizzagate Howie. God, if I'm so embarrassed, I actually fell asleep. And we've been dead on the air for about close to 20 minutes. Unfortunately, John will not be with us tonight. He had an emergency at his house with one of his animals. He has a baby mule, I believe, who fell and hurt her leg, and he could not get a vet out to the house. So I got a text message a while ago saying that he's actually staying with the mule all night until the vet can get out, can get out to the house. So the show was supposed to be all me tonight, and I literally don't know what happened, and I fell asleep. We had obviously a lot of things planned. So I hope I just tweeted it out. I hope a few people at least are listening now. So once again, I apologize. I'm incredibly embarrassed. I woke up and I had that, you ever wake up late for something and you have that sinking feeling, and I looked over and it was about 12:13 and I was like, oh no. But here we are, and when I'm on the air by myself, this is only the second time I've ever done this by myself, and it's really difficult because there's no feedback whatsoever. There's no commentary. It's just talking into that space. So if anybody wants to tweet anything out to the Traffic Report, any questions, any comments, anything, just so there's something to go on, it would be greatly appreciated. Even more so now that I've just woken up out of a dead sleep. I guess just before we begin, everyone had a happy Halloween. I had a pretty nice Halloween. I dressed up as my favorite criminal, Hillary Clinton. If anybody wants to see that, I believe I've tweeted it out to the Traffic Report, and you probably see my picture. Oh, that was my Halloween. If anyone would tweet out their costume ideas, thought my sign was pretty cool, and I was able to get back to my intersection for the first time in many months, probably since. God, I haven't been out there since July. It was a lot of fun. I'm probably going to do it again in my same costume. So, and tomorrow night I will be going to New York City. Hillary is officially kicking off. Well, she's done her book signings for What Happened, and now she's going on a speaking tour, as if the book signings weren't quite enough. So she will be kicking off in New York City. I think it's kicking off. She'll be in New York City at 8 p.m. tomorrow night, and I'll be going up to see all the people that are paying over, I believe it's about $100. All the tickets were, and it's I don't know if it's a synagogue or a Jewish community center called Emmanuel, 65th Street in Manhattan. So I will be there, so you can look for that. And I think we are. I've been saying it for like a couple weeks now. Like something is, we've really turned a corner with Pedogate, with Pizzagate, with and obviously Pedo would. We thought we thought the Harvey Weinstein uh, accusations, which obviously are true if the guy's apologized and gone in for help. But now we're really starting to see some things happen. I mean, it would be last week having the producer of an Open Secret on, and if you've seen an Open Secret, and you obviously know something just horrendous is going on in Hollywood, that to the point where they, in my estimation, that they don't think that sexually abusing children is a big deal. It's something that they do. The stories, the way that the agents, the producers, the way they went about these things, having children go into 13, 14-year-old boys go into hot tubs naked with grown men while other people were around. It was just out there. That's what they did. And nobody, they didn't feel like they were going to get caught. And, and obviously they didn't. And if you did speak up, who would listen? Who would listen? And I think, saying last week that I think a lot of law enforcement agencies and media and, just anybody that was around this situation, they have a lot of questions to answer. Where were you? Where were you if, these rumors, these reports, they were out there? And, as far as I know, the only, well, I shouldn't say that. I mean, some people, been, arrested, but when you think of pedophilia in Hollywood or the entertainment industry, the only name that really comes to mind is obviously the big one is Michael Jackson. Obviously he was never criminally charged, but now we have Kevin Spacey, and I usually rely on John for more of the facts and figures, so I'm not gonna have to look it up right now. But Kevin Spacey accused, when he was around 30 years old, of sexually harassing, hitting on, whatever you want to call it, a 14-year-old boy. And we've known for a long time that when this stuff started coming out with Jeffrey Epstein, Kevin Spacey, has visited Lolita Island, and it was right there. It was right on the flight manifest, and Kevin Spacey, several photos, with the Clintons, very close in those circles. Why does an actor? I mean, when you do a search and Kevin Spacey, it's like so many different scenarios where he's hanging out with Bill Clinton, visiting Jeffrey Epstein. Like, who is this guy? We know he's an actor, but why him? And of course his role. I've never seen the show House of Cards, that supposedly, I believe, and this is where I'm desperately going to miss John. House of Cards there was it was kind of based on Tamara Lozado and her husband, but I'm going to get ahead of myself because, I'll kind of wait on that because I actually didn't get enough time to look into that. But for those of you who don't know who Tamara Lozado is, she was Hillary Clinton's chief of staff when Hillary was senator of New York, and she is in the Podesta emails, sending out an email about providing entertainment with 3 children or grandchildren will be in, and saying how that they will be in the pool for entertainment, and it will be chilly. It's a very, very creepy email. And Tamara also works at the Pew Trusts, and part of the Pew organization. That they have their hands in quite a few things: research, media research, political research, and it's just another it's the word I'm looking for, but something that I've wanted to research further, the entire Pew organization, because they're pretty powerful, and I'd heard of them before all this, but they're way on my radar. And she's been working for them as like a vice president, and I don't know what her qualifications are. But anyway, the House of Cards show was supposed to be based on Tamara and her husband and the power couple that they were in Washington, D.C. And it's, it was just so funny that it's just another one of those names, Tamara Lozado, who, I never would have known about her. I never would, I could live my entire life not knowing that there's a Tamara Lozado. And, it turns out she's pretty powerful person, under the radar. You never see. I mean, God, I probably wouldn't even know who John Podesta was. Never really paid attention to Hillary's campaign CEO. Transitioning into John Podesta, to see how much we are winning. I mean, John Podesta, and I got a text message from Becky's, when I was out today, that it's Halloween and John Podesta is triggered, and I was like, oh, cool, John Podesta's triggered. I didn't really. She didn't. I don't know if she sent me the tweet or whatever. I wasn't really sure. But 12 hours ago, so I guess around 12:30 this afternoon, John Podesta decides to tweet out, "Pizzagate crazies. You can keep it up, but it's 100% false. Watch your man Alex Jones grovel and then get a life." I'm going to say that one more time. John Podesta, this wasn't answering to anyone. This was just a tweet at 12:30 this afternoon. Pizzagate crazies. You can keep it up, but it's 100% false. Watch your man Alex Jones grovel and then get a life. So, and this is what happens when the walls start closing in on people like John Podesta. It hit untouchable. Sociopaths, I mean, they'll never, a sociopath, in my estimation, will never, ever, ever give up. And I always use the analogy of a serial killer. Um, it, the serial killer, even though they, you know, they have everybody, you know, going after them. And it actually doesn't even have to be a serial killer. It could be anybody. But you know, they go out, you know, if they get caught, they know who they are. Their name's been plastered all over television. They're on the run. They're on the lam. They're in the woods. I mean, listen, where are you going to hide? They know now. They know who you are. Like, you know, in America, like, where are you going to hide? You know, for only for so long. But they just keep, you know, they just keep going. They'll stay in the woods. They'll safe houses and do whatever they can. You know, they're gonna, you know, or a criminal that's trying to, you know, is being chased by the police, and there's a helicopter up, you know, up in the air, and you know, with the spotlight going down on them, and being chased by, you know, however many police cars, and they just keep, you know, they're going to get away. Like, where are you going to go? I mean, listen, at some point you give up, but you know, this tweet is just, I mean, I was just shocked. I mean, out of nowhere, John Podesta decides, and you know, for everybody that, you know, wanted to, you know, I don't know, literally, it wasn't in response to anything, so I don't know exactly where this came from, but so many people wanted to, you know, drop the Pizzagate thing. It's crediting. It's silly. People won't get it. You know, I never wanted to. You know, obviously we know it's not just quote unquote Pizzagate, and Pizzagate doesn't. You know, I'm not even sure what Pizzagate means anymore. And obviously we know, stemming from, you know, about a year ago today, you know, the best email 29 came out with all of these strange emails with references that did not make any sense, and and obviously to children, and so, you know, what Pizzagate means exactly. You know, I'm not sure, but it sure as hell means something. It absolutely means something. It did not just. It's not just this. We need to move on from it, and now it's pedogate, and we need to focus in on it. It's an aspect, and and forever, Pizzagate, for a lot of people, including myself, is the reason why I'm here, and the reason why I got in the first place. It was something tangible, and just anybody who looked at it with an open mind could see, like, wait, what the hell is going on here? What are they talking about? Whoa, something is just overly creepy, and it's whether it's the emails or pictures or just, everything going back to this police commenting on, and the way that, I don't need to rehash like Pizzagate, but the way that the media, just can, after a while, just tightly just wound this narrative that, quote, Hillary Clinton is running a satanic pedophile ring out of the basement of a DC pizza shop, end quote. Have you ever heard of anything so ridiculous? They don't even have a basement. These crazy conspiracy theorists. That's it. Hillary Clinton running a child sex trafficking, satanic sex trafficking out of the basement of a job. Out of everything, every piece of evidence that has been put forward. That's how they wound the narrative. And it's just absolutely laughable. And let me tell you something. These people had never imagined that a hashtag like Pizzagate still still be in use 1 year later. I mean, these things run their course. Everything, people get on, to a certain thing. Like I said, when I, little over a year ago, when I got on Twitter, I got on for the hashtag Stone Tier, and I've told that story before about Hillary's IT computer specialist and Stone Tier. And if you don't know the story, I'm not going to tell it again, but you look it up. And we sat, and I learned Twitter. All I did all day was sat on the hashtag page of Stone Tier and watched the tweets come in, and that's how I met people. I mean, that's how I met like a Thomas Bernpain time, and and I just watched, and I just retweeted and met people off of a hashtag, and and it was a pretty active hashtag back in September and October of last year, and then it just died. Now, it didn't die because people were done with it, but we lost some momentum, and other things were happening, but it was, the hashtag without a doubt was being shadow banned, and that's when I learned about shadow banning on Twitter. But anyway, for Pizzagate to 1 year later to still be active and to have grown into something else, John Podesta John Podesta is not the type of person where he's going to just go off and say something like this. And it's just so funny too that watch your man Alex Jones grovel and then get a life. John Podesta, listen, dude, and anybody, just, you have all these emails. You have all these emails. Tell me what you're talking about. Explain to the public what those emails mean. Okay? Listen, I don't want this to be true, but not one time with everything that's been put out there. Nobody answers what the emails mean. I've seen Hillary Clinton do interview after interview where she says, the Russians hacked the emails and they put all this stuff out there, and John Podesta's emails were, one interview she called them pedestrian. They're just run of the mill, ordinary campaign email, because she knows that 90, I don't know how many, but over 90% of the public never read a Podesta email. So she can go on our little interview and say, they're just run-of-the-mill pedestrian emails. Everyday campaign stuff, boring, mundane, whatever the word she wants to use. Seriously. And that's what they count on. But they know that it's not just that the hashtags are around and people are around. Not just on Twitter. I'm obviously biased towards Twitter because that's where I hang out. But whether it's Facebook, Gab, Vote, Steemit, all the alternative sources to put out, for lack of a better term, put out information, share information, and they know it's growing, and the whole, also with the narrative that aside from that Hillary Clinton was running a pizza shop, a child sex trafficking operation out of the basement of a DC shop. It's also part of the narrative that Alex Jones, the wars, started Pizzagate. I'm like, really? Well, that's just fascinating, because I don't know anybody that quote unquote started Pizzagate. started to me with that's the emails were released. Last time I checked, that was done by WikiLeaks, and it all happened, very rapidly. And I don't listen to Alex Jones. I don't follow him on Twitter. I don't listen to his show. Nothing. So where the hell did I learn about Pizzagate from Alex Jones if I don't even pay attention to the guy? And that's how they do it. They all put on Alex Jones. And then conveniently after a certain amount of time, well, Alex Jones comes out and puts out some kind of apology and makes everybody look. So watch your man, Alex Jones. So everybody that believes in Pizzagate must be a believer in Alex Jones. And that is, forget what they call that, but it's one of these false term, false equivalency or something is in my head. I know that's not right, but it's absurd. So, but it's great to see. It's great to see that they're cracking, and when names, when Holly, finally, we needed these breaks, and it seems like Hollywood is, one of the areas that'll happen, and I want to go back and read. I'd like to read Kevin Spacey's if I'm not blocked, and I've been blocked. One of my previous suspended accounts was blocked by Kevin Spacey, and he blocks a lot. He blocks a lot of people. So I'm gonna pull up his pinned tweet and his apology. I guess the actor's name is Anthony Rapp, who I have absolutely no idea who it is, and Kevin Spacey. I have a lot of respect and admiration for Anthony Rapp as an actor. I am beyond horrified to hear his story. He's beyond horrified. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave then as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology for what would have been deeply inappropriate drunken behavior. And I am sorry for the feelings he describes having carried with him all these years. The story has encouraged me to address other things about my life. I'll fill in the blank there that he's homosexual. I know that there are stories out there about me, and that some have been fueled by the fact that I've been so protective of my privacy. As those closest to me know in my life, I have had relationships with both men and women. I have loved and had romantic encounters with men throughout my life, and I choose now to live as a gay man. I want to deal with this honestly and openly. That starts with examining my own behavior. Go through this whole nicely wound part. I honestly do not remember the encounter. It would have been over 30 years ago. But if I did behave as he describes, I owe him the sincerest apology. I'm sure Kevin Spacey has met a lot of people, but if I was accused by someone, especially a minor, of what he's been accused of, I would remember it, and to come off like, it's kind of like, wow, this would be something like, like if, and I'm almost 30 years removed from high school. Excuse me for 1 second. But, this would be the type of thing, like, if you said something to someone in high school and, it hurt their feelings or something, and they came back to you and say, remember in high school you used to pick on me, or you said this, that really hurt. That type of thing. I'm not talking about, like trying to molest a, 14-year-old boy when you're, like, 30 years old. like that, and you're just like, hey man, well, I'm really sorry about that. God, you have an apology, and now I have to address the fact that I'm a gay man, and I have to be open about. Like, dude, you're totally conflating the issue. You know exactly what you're doing, and you're getting all the libtards on board for your, whoa, isn't he brave for coming out as a gay man? And these people are disgusting. They're laughable, and they're caught, and they're all scrambling, and oh my God, Hollywood just must be just the craziest place right now, because nobody knows who's going to come out next and what names are going to drop, but we know it's going to. And Kevin Spacey, and all the investigators, all the people that do, all the researchers, they'll just keep digging. They'll just keep digging, and more will come out. I started. My little contribution to Kevin, the Kevin Spacey thing is somewhere along the line, and I don't remember where I mean, I heard it from somewhere, and actually V, who's told her story on the show, she said, like, where did you come up with this? This pedo smile. Where did you come up with that? And I was like, well, I didn't come up with it. I didn't come up with it on my own. It's like I heard, it's one of those things you heard, in your life. And the hashtag was actually started, but I started really paying attention to it, and some, especially with like, convicted people, they just have this smile that's just, it's just. It's a creepy kind of smile. Like, men don't smile that way, and often they don't show their teeth. It's just their lips are together, and they're smiling. There's like a grin from real wide, and just kind of, so and when I see this smile, and when I see people that have it, I tweet it out. And as far as Kevin Spacey goes, aside, I obviously was on the radar with his, his connections with Jeffrey, with Jeffrey Epstein, and there were some pictures of him, and rumors and stuff. But then I started like watching some of his, looking at some of his photos, and I tweeted him out several times that I don't like Kevin Spacey's pedo smile. And it didn't get any traction or whatever. And it's just like, look at some guy, saying this thing, pedo smile. I think there's something to it, and I've seen it over and over and over again. And it's once again, it's not something you can, prove. Oh, look, that guy I don't like that guy's smile, so I'm going to start accusing him of things. But if you look under the hashtag pedo smile, you'll see quite a few, see some things and see some images. I was going to start off with before I fell asleep, unfortunately, and I really do hope somebody's listening. I wouldn't blame everybody if they weren't, but I was going to start off. There's a John Prine song called "Illegal Smile," and it's basically about a smile you have when you're high, and but like there's something about that. There's a certain smile, like when you're doing something wrong, like that evil grin, that devilish grin that people have for whatever reason. But Kevin, I've seen that smile on Kevin Spacey. I've seen it on a lot of people convicted, and I've seen a lot of people that I personally suspect. And so I'm hoping that the hashtag pedo smile will get some traction. But we have it's it's basically Pedo Wood is, now a hashtag. And man, Twitter is so, I mean, they're just so disgusting. I mean, this happened to me so many times, throughout my Twitter life, that, my autocompletes, they never, they never, they never finish. And sometimes autocomplete will have an incorrect spelling just so you can't get it to the hashtag. But my autocompletes just they barely work right now, except for like except for very popular hashtags. Like sometimes you'll type in PED, and then of course Pedogate's going to show up, and it'll just complete it out with, a PDE, a PED. But now I have to type in the entire thing, and then it hasn't happened to me in a while. So I don't know if Twitter's doing something specific to me, or just they want Pedogate off the map. But it's fine. It's fine. Just Twitter's got to do what they got to do. John Podesta's got to do what he's got to do. Kevin Spacey has to apologize for what he has to apologize for, and everybody else has to keep controlling their narrative. But they realize that this community is just getting larger, and it's getting louder, and it's getting smarter. And anybody that's involved in it. I've said it several times. Like we are, I honestly believe that we are making history to the point where we are, bringing something out that is literally going to change the world and and impact the lives of human beings, and vulnerable human beings. And once this comes out, everything else is, it will open the doors to everything else. And obviously, and I didn't get a chance to really even look at it. Obviously, there was a terrorist attack, supposed terrorist attack in New York City today. This is another thing. Now we have Las Vegas. Now we have something in New York City, and I wouldn't bet my life, but I would bet every penny I have, which isn't a ton, but I would bet something. There's more to it. There's more to what happened in New York City, and there's obviously definitely more than what meets the eye. What happened in Las Vegas. And these false flags, it is, and that's what false flags are meant to do, is to distract and to take over, so people are not paying attention to what really is going on. So, we can expect more false flags. I hope they say 8 people died and 15 were injured. I don't know. I have not even looked at it. I was out all day. So we'll probably get it, when John gets back on, and I'm praying for John and his baby mule whose leg is hurt, and I know John loves animals, and I love animals, and so my thoughts are with John, and I really feel it was actually, I was a little surprised. It was actually, like I said, more to say than I thought I did, because this hour for me kind of flew by. Of course, it was only about 40 minutes, and I apologize for having dead air. But things happen in life, and I did fall asleep. So we will continue on with the show Thursday, and we'll talk about New York City. I'm actually going to New York City tomorrow, to see my girl Hillary. Like I said, so look out for that, and just stay loud, stay vigilant. We are winning this battle, and eventually we will win the war, and we're only going to do it to get more and more and more people on board. and we know what we're doing. We know we are right, and we have, when someone like a John Podesta tweets out what he tweeted out tonight, we've got people that powerful, quote unquote powerful, scared, and they should be scared, because their way of life is coming to an end, and they won't give up. They won't admit it because they are sociopaths, but it's coming to an end. Stay with me tonight, and hopefully John will be back on Thursday. Everyone have a really nice holiday. Have a great night.